we have a mystery caller.
I'm excited how to start this. All right, here we go. Hey, mystery caller, thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey,
Have you ever performed at the Grand Ole Opry?
Twice.
I threw you off the scent.
Is this Wainwright?
What? How'd you get that?
It's Adam Wainwright. I knew his voice.
You knew his voice?
Yeah, and you said Grand Ole Opry. I know that Adam is musical. What's up, Adam?
Man,
Good morning.
that chap's.
How's it going, y'all?
Harold gets so
chaps,
burned
man.
when I get the mystery. I'm pretty good at voices. I'm good at very few things. Very few things. I'm good
That
at
was a
cracking
big
on
hint.
you. I know Adam's voice.
That was a big hint Harold gave.
It was.
I
It
know.
was.
I messed that up. I thought I threw him off the scent. He thinks, somebody else.
Hey, Adam, are you, with spring training kind of in full swing now and you're, a couple years into not playing, is it easier for you now than it was a year ago to not be in camp in uniform this time of year? Or is it still kind of get you a little bit?
Well, last year at this time, I had a sling on my arm. I had shoulder surgery when I got done playing. So I had a full season where I wouldn't have been able to play anyways with shoulder surgery. But I got to be, I'm living my best life. I just got out of the garden. I quail hunted yesterday. I'm going to play golf in 30 minutes. Like I'm okay. I'm good.
Good for you.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Hey, so I get a message from Adam last week, and this is why I wanted to have him on, because it was just so profound. And he was talking about the target and pitching and how, we see so many catchers on one knee, and then they go like this, they drop the target and they bring it back up. And nobody ever talks about it from the pitcher perspective. And I don't want to steal his thunder, so I'll let Adam dive into that, because I thought it was something I hadn't thought about, and I wanted to bring you on and talk about it.
Well, and that's why I posted the message, because no one's talking about it, and it should be being talked about. And it's not so much the one knee thing, except for when there's a runner on third base. I'll never understand how a catcher could ever be on one knee with a runner on third base. But that's beside the point. The main point is, if you watch catchers nowadays, they're taught the snatch and whatever. But if you see where that glove is, and it's not just this catcher, it's every catcher, they put the glove on the ground. A pitcher gets going in his windup, his delivery, he's about halfway home, and as he's gone, all of a sudden the target that he's honed in and focused on, all of a sudden it's on the ground. And so what happens is the pitcher knows, all right, I'm not supposed to throw the ball on the ground, but I know, generally speaking, where I'm supposed to throw the ball, knee-high area, or whether it's up in the zone or down the zone or whatever it is. Now you've created what's called a soft focus for the pitcher. They know generally an idea of a roundabout place where they're supposed to throw the ball, but they don't know exactly where to throw the ball. And people can tell me muscle memory and this and that. I'm just telling you, I pitched for a very, very long time. And I had a couple of catchers that were working on that towards the end of my career. And I see it on scouting tapes, and I see it nowadays, and it's just, I liken this. If you want a clear picture, I posted a video on my X account, Uncle Charlie 50. You can go look at it. But if you're playing darts and you're aimed at the bullseye, and then all of a sudden the dartboard gets snatched down, but you're supposed to still aim for where the bullseye is going to be. And then right before you throw it, the bullseye gets thrown back up to where it's supposed to be. And you're like, oh, there it is. It's funky, man. And if we want to increase our guys being pitchers and not throwers, we want them to hone in on a small target. Actually, can we please give them a target? This is something that this is one of those things in life. There's a lot of these things in life where you're going, what are we doing right now? We're overthinking things just a little bit. A catcher's main job. What's a catcher's main job here? Let me ask you.
Give you a target and catch the ball.
To help the pitcher.
Guide the pitcher.
Be a better pitcher. Am I right?
Correct.
Matt, am I right?
You're right.
Absolutely. So if we are, now I understand part of that is pitch framing and whatnot, but the main thing on a baseball field is the pitcher versus the hitter. The main thing.
That's really fascinating. But let me ask you this, Adam, and it's really intriguing, and your comp on the dartboard is great. Why then are catchers doing that? Do they feel like if they left the target there, they're giving up location for the hitter? Why would they remove the target?
No, I don't think so. I think that what they're doing is and the catcher's taught, which is a good thing. They want to relax their catching hand before they catch. And that's a good thing. You don't want a guy all stiff, but you can get a soft hand. I mean, look, I had the best receiving catcher of all time. No one can ever say differently to me. I'll never be talked out of that argument. But he relaxed, but his target stayed the same. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It didn't go on the ground, especially. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is they're dropping that glove so that they can catch that ball at the lower part of the strike zone, the knee-high strike. They can catch it going up rather than going down. But you never saw Yadier Molina or Buster Posey or Brian McCann or any of the really good receiving catchers. You never saw them push that lower strike out of the zone. This is just a lack of training, in my opinion. Like, if you want those guys to receive that ball at the knee-high strike and not push it down, then have them work on it. Don't have them put their glove on the ground and snatch it up. And umpires, I'm actually surprised umpires call those pitches when the guy's yanking the glove all over the place. I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah, no, Adam, it's like I said, this was so fascinating,
really eye-opening.
And I mean, you think about it in any part of the game, any facet of the game. If I'm throwing a ball, if it's a ground ball and I'm turning double play, give him a target. You hear that all the time, right? If you throw to first base, give him a target. But pitching, that's going to happen 300 times in a game. We don't give him a target. It makes my eyes have been open. My thought has totally changed.
What are we doing, Harold? This is not that complicated. We're overthinking things a little bit, right? Like, there's a way to have good receiving metrics and give your pitcher a good target. There just is. Don't tell me.
So what made you start thinking on this? Where now you're obviously you've thought about it in the past, but what triggered that for you?
Well, I was watching scouting tape the last few years that I played, and I'm not going to name names, but there were several catchers that kind of started this trend. And you'd see them put the glove on the ground, and I'd be like, oh, gosh, man, I just can't imagine throwing to that target, you know. This is like, all right, would you rather throw to, like, Yadier was my favorite target when he was his big, heaviest. Like, I like big, chunky Yadi, right? When he got skinny and was running marathons and stuff, I was like, where's my big target that throws? Remember Michael Jordan said it felt like he was shooting into a big, giant bucket, right? Well, like, that's what it felt like throwing to Yadi at his biggest. Or A.J. Pierzynski, big old giant body, you know, and you just like, oh, man, I can't even miss that sucker. But now you see these guys, they got their glove on the ground and their chest is like this. And what happens is you end up throwing to the big, giant target instead of the little tiny part. And here, the other argument of this, people say, well, why can't you just hone in on a guy, like a number on the guy's chest or on the face mask or whatever? Because look, the catcher goes to set up and he goes like this, and things are moving left and right. Knees are going up and down. Face masks are going up and down, but the target always remained. Like, you know, these guys are moving around, but the target was always still, so the pitcher knew where to throw. So you can't, it's not the same. You want your pitcher to have a hard focus, something very small, something very stable. And can we please make that the catcher's mitt, where they're actually throwing the ball? This is not that complicated.
Hey, you mentioned your colleague on Fox, A.J. Pierzynski, and, you know, he could move around and frame with the best of them. Look how he sells this pitch right on the edge of the strike zone, Adam.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, if that's not the most AJ.
That's Matt's favorite piece of video for AJ. He loves that.
Because he's also, you know, out of his mind, AJ. So it's perfectly in character for him to sell that, like, and look back sarcastically and then say something flippant to the umpire and get disciplined and then, you know, love it. I just love the guy.
Hey, one of the most underrated careers that there is.
For sure.
He had a great career.
For sure.
One of the most underrated. If you look how many games that guy caught every year for that many games in a row, years in a row, really amazing stuff.
Hey, last thing, Adam, I want to put a bow on this because it is a very important topic. Youngsters coming up, you know, and you're having a tough time finding the target, but we're teaching that in Little League. We're teaching that all the way through because they're going to emulate what they see in the big leagues.
Thank you.
So as a young pitcher or a young kid throwing to a target, we need to give them a target. Am I correct?
Oh man, I mean, look, this is not rocket science, guys. Like, your guys are first learning out like how to throw a ball. Yesterday, we spent 30 minutes just having the guys. My son is 6 years old. Just having them start like this and just throw like this. And the biggest thing was the other guy he was going like this, right? This is where chest high throws, right in the middle of our chest.
Yeah.
This is where I wanted you to throw. And same thing goes for pitching at a young age. Like, if you're not teaching your catchers to give your pitcher a good target when they're young, your young pitchers are going to be hurling the ball all over the place. This is how we create throwers and not pitchers.
Adam, we appreciate the call today, man. That was great stuff. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the call. Enjoy the weekend. We hope we see you in the studio here one of these days soon.